All right, good afternoon, everyone, and we're ready to go for our briefing. Today's Wednesday, September 24th, and welcome to the County of Monterey Weekly Press Briefing. We have a great lineup today and excited to have guests from our South County. Supervisor Lopez will be joining us shortly, but to talk to us first about a South County and County Rural Broadband project. We have our Director of County Information Technology Department, Eric Chatham, with us. And Eric took part in a very successful event on Monday down in San Lucas and San Ardo to celebrate that part of the county getting a broadband service, high-speed internet. Eric, welcome to the briefing.
All right, thanks everybody, and thanks Nick for having us here. We had actually a great turnout down in San Ardo. We did a public-private partnership using ARPA funds that were approved by the board this year to bring broadband services to several rural communities without the county. And this particular one was the completion of the San Ardo and the San Lucas area. We had some great food that was provided down there, as well as music, some prizes, and most importantly, high-speed broadband that came to over 174 households in the San Ardo area and 98 households in the San Lucas area. We had loaves, fishes, and computers. A nonprofit was there as well, handing out flash drives and talking to some of the local residents, as well as Monterey County Free Art Libraries provided use of the facilities and their staff to help support the event. And county facility staff, County of Monterey facility staff was there as well to help support the event. Good turnout for all the constituents that joined there. Great outcomes that were completed by the county and Charter Spectrum, who was there. Lisa Ludovici, who is our government liaison that helped coordinate and organize all these programs throughout the county to get to areas where there is either very low services or poor services or no services into a lot of these communities that would have probably never had broadband showing up for quite a long time. And as we found out through the pandemic, what became very clear and obvious is that broadband services are just like having utilities. It's like having your PG&E. Everything from your basic shopping, your banking, your entertainment, to now what we're seeing, throughout, the world is enhanced opportunities through all the different educational opportunities. Students now have reliable access to online learning platforms. They expand their educational resources, and it improves academic outcomes in the rural areas. Healthcare access is really critical anymore, with telehealth becoming more prominent, allowing residents to get medical consultation and have a lot of their meetings without having to drive, especially from these locations that are an hour or plus outside of the basic services that they need. So it gives them a great ability to have those all online. And then future growth, having fiber and high-speed internet and broadband available allows businesses come in, additional infrastructure to be brought in that it can support, additional households come in. It creates future growth and economic advantage for everyone. So as I said, it was a great turnout. It was Supervisor Lopez gave a great set of comments to all the staff, and we'd like to thank everyone that was involved in this event, as well as Charter Spectrum for having such a great public-private partnership and able to service our community.
And this type of thing has been a priority for the Board of Supervisors for quite a long time, and I know it didn't happen overnight. How long has the project been in the making, Eric? And what's kind of the next steps along the way of bringing high-speed internet to others?
So we've been working this program for about 2 years. And a lot of it is, we have to do a lot of work with getting permitting and process that happens there, as well as finding the appropriate areas to use this specific funding for, because it has to be for areas that have either no broadband, has to be areas that have very poor broadband, and it has to hit those types of communities. So we've hit, some projects up in Prunedale in the North County, as well as, South Prunedale. We've done Strawberry Canyon. So we've done over 700 actual passings, which is basically that means that you have the ability to hook up to their services with this funding, and obviously a lot of that funding is being matched by the by Charter Spectrum, which makes it then a financially feasible for them to continue to develop and deploy. And we have additional projects that we're looking at in the Marina Airport and the Marina Department of Public Safety, some areas around Blanco. So we continue to look at opportunities, obviously until we run out of funding, but we are all, there's a lot of additional federal and state funding that's coming down the pipe. So we look forward to more opportunities to further extend it throughout the county.
Excellent. That's great. And nowadays, I mean, it's just a way of life. We need to have that connectivity no matter what we do. And it's so important for people and economic stability and growth and whatnot. So that's terrific, Eric. And the team at the County Information Technology Department has done a great job in helping to get the word out. So thank you very much. And Supervisor Lopez has joined us for District 3. And Supervisor Lopez, thank you for taking the time today. I know you're super busy. But this is important for the people of South County, and it means a lot to the people. And can you kind of describe that and what you're hearing from your constituents down in the southern part of Monterey County?
Shock. It's that easy. It's one word. The folks that I represent are often the very last to see any sort of gain and benefit from the initiatives you hear happening at the state level and the federal level. And so when we stood there the other day and I shared with some of them that a few asked me right off the bat, when is this going to be available? And I said, oh, it actually started up about a soft launch a week ago. And they looked at me and said, oh, we thought you guys were just starting the project. I said, no, it's here, it's live. And in fact, another woman standing next to me that day was already an early adopter. And I asked her, what kind of speeds are you seeing? And she ran her speed test and she said, oh, only 466 megabytes per second. I turned to her and said, I get 50 at my house. And she was blown away. She said, I get faster speeds than you do. I said, you do, right? And it's about who you prioritize. We talk about equity and putting it into the action. And these residents are just blown away by the fact that in a place that sometimes never gets seen, heard, or feels the impact of the initiatives they hear about, this conversation around bridging the digital divide has brought them real change, and they're experiencing it now. Over 50% of the eligible customers in the San Ardo community have already taken on the service, which is incredible to me in terms of an adoption rate so quickly. So yeah, the residents are definitely hearing about it. They're stepping up and stepping into this opportunity, and they're extremely excited.
That's great, Chris. And also, thinking, I know you're committed to young people and youth development, education. I mean, you think about the impacts this has on young people, and we're joined today by an entire class at CSUMB, some of whom may be from South County, but, from an educational standpoint and what this means for young people, kind of describe that.
It's really a leveling of the playing field. We always hear in this country that everybody starts off on equal footing, right? But in this age of opportunity existing or not existing in certain communities, at certain times that can feel like it's far from the truth. And for communities like this who say you need to go to the grocery store and you're sitting in San Ardo, you're talking about a 40-minute round trip to King City or a 50-minute round trip to Paso Robles, right? When you think about some of the services now, folks say, oh, DMV, just log on and do it online. Or the court system who pulled out of King City. So now a trip to traffic court is 2 hours round trip to Seaside. Some of those services are offered online, but if you don't have access to fast enough internet to hold a Zoom or a meeting, how can you show up for your appearance without that opportunity? Now, with so many doctor's appointments being online, it means these folks are going to save time. They're going to save gas money. They're going to save opportunity, and it's going to allow them to be at home more often with their kids and not feel strained by some of these needs that draw them further away. As we talk about the youth, though, the fact that they are starting on a more level playing field is a game changer. As they look at those educational opportunities, we say, well, community college, you can do all those classes online. They can't at this point. Now they can. They have access to all those same opportunities that their peers do, whether you live in Carmel, Pacific Grove, Salinas, or San Ardo. You are now on a truly level playing field when it comes to the internet.
That's great. And I'm sure you've already gotten some terrific feedback from that community. And I know there's a school down there, and you've been a strong advocate for those folks. And simple things like sidewalks and streetlights and now high-speed internet. It's amazing what change can do to a community.
And I'll share, San Lucas, they got them new streets, new sidewalks. They got street lights for the first time, and now they have internet. The one thing we still need, I'm going to take the opportunity because I'm here, is drinking water. We're going to hit 14 years now with no drinking water in that community. So the challenges that they continue to experience and feel are real. We can't say they're not. This is a community that long feels forgotten, but I can share that in my short time in office, we have made sure that that community knows that they're seen and heard and advocated on their behalf. And so while we continue to fight for water, I can bring folks from the state down and point out all the wonderful changes we have made investing and ask them to do the same.
That's great, Chris, and thank you so much for your staff's work too, as well as helping organize this event for that community. So well needed and overdue for sure.
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
But neat video. I do have the video of all the comments that were made that night, so I can get that to you, Nick, for distribution.
That'd be great. And in fact, I was just going to mention to the folks joining us from the media today, we do have a Dropbox available with photos and some video clips as well. And if you would like that, you can certainly reach out to me directly and I'll be happy to get that to you. And kind of on the topic of youth and shifting gears a little bit, the County of Monterey, our workforce development team and Monterey County Works is teaming up to have a hospitality job fair and career opportunities, and also to talk about trends in hospitality. And let's face it, hospitality is a very important part of our economy in the county and in the region. It's a growing one, it's an evolving one. And today we have with us Laura Kershner from the County of Monterey Workforce Development. We also have Rob O'Keefe, president of C Monterey, formerly known as the Monterey Convention and Visitors Bureau. Kristen Horton, the executive director of the Monterey County Hospitality Association, and Paige Viren, the faculty member in charge, director of the hospitality program at CSUMB, and all her students. How you doing, everyone?
Hi.
All right. So Laura, talk to us about what this is all about, why it's important, this opportunity for young people to meet face to face with leaders in the hospitality industry. That's one of the most important industries in our county.
Thank you, Nick. Thanks for having me on today. I sure appreciate it. We are doing a very specialized recruitment today, specifically for hospitality. It is one of the growing industries, one of our main industries here in Monterey County. We're delighted to host. It's 3 employers today because it is a specialized recruitment. One of those being the Hyatt Highlands Inn, which will be hiring for hospitality. We're happy to have them. It's going to be in our career center from 1 to 4 today here in Salinas, 344 Salinas Street. This is a growing, burgeoning industry. There's people think hospitality, oh, I don't want to be a maid, but there's so many jobs in hospitality, thousands across Monterey County. It is one of our huge sectors. We need a lot of people to make it go. It's an always growing industry, along with the ag industry. Hospitality is right up there in healthcare. So we try and do specialized recruitments each month, which are a little bit smaller than our job fairs, but they're a little bit more focused. And it's what we do here at Workforce Development is bring both employers and job seekers together. We're the liaison. Our office is here in Salinas at 344 Salinas Street in downtown Salinas. And we invite people to come down, check us out. We're formerly known as the One Stop Career Center, also known as America's Job Center, Monterey County Workforce Development Board. It's the same thing. We have rebranded in recent years as Monterey County Works, and we're here to serve. And we're excited to have this today for job seekers.
And I know you have a lot of teammates there in your department that are helping people from all walks of life and all ages find great career opportunities. And this is just one example of some of the services that you all provide.
It is. And we have both assistance for job seekers as well as businesses. We can incentivize our local businesses to hire people from within our realms through what's called an on-the-job training contract. If businesses are willing to hire somebody who's never done the work before and take a chance on them, we're willing to incentivize them to hire those people at 50% of that individual's wage. So that can be a very lucrative thing for a business to be able to incur, a reimbursement at 50%. We're doing hiring videos now for our local businesses that are hiring. So think about that if you're on, or you can help us spread the word about that. We're doing also a workforce minute. So lots of different things for businesses to take advantage of through your workforce development board. We're the other side of economic development. We're the workforce development. So we want to bring our local job seekers and businesses together, and we want to play that role.
Great. Thank you, Laura. And hang on with us in case we have some questions for
Okay.
you. But I want to shift gears to Rob O'Keefe, who's the president of Monterey, which also rebranded not too long ago from Monterey Convention and Visitors Bureau. But Rob, Laura talks about these opportunities in hospitality, and Monterey is all about that experience, creating that experience for people. How does finding the right people to fill these jobs really enhance the experience that visitors have coming to the Monterey Peninsula and to the county in general?
Well, first of all, thanks, Nick, for the opportunity to be in this forum. I think it's terrific. It's a really great way to, we always say everything is connected. And it truly is the hospitality industry and beyond. So to have this opportunity to share some information is wonderful. I'm a little bit more context regarding the tourism economy and where it's going, and I know that Kristen and maybe Paige can talk a little bit more about job fairs and employment and workforce development regarding our industry. But what your question is I think well founded. The team that works in the hospitality industry is absolutely critical to an extraordinary experience. People are coming here for experience, and people look to Monterey for inspiration. We say inspiration is our superpower, and it's found in both nature-made and man-made ways. And the man-made ways are fueled by the people who work in the industry. And it's not only that, and I have a little bit of information to share if you want to get into it, Nick, it's the residents as well, because we all have a stake in the tourism economy and all have the opportunity to enhance that experience. And I'll tell you just one tidbit. I've got more if you want to hear it, but from our resident sentiment study, we have a 99% satisfaction rating from our visitor profile study. We've also done that just recently. 99% of visitors say they're absolutely coming back. And I think that's a big deal for us. It means our repeat visitation will keep on going. And when we get someone here for the first time, it means they're coming back. And our hospitality employees are the tip of the spear in making that happen.
That's great. And share some other insights, industry insights too, Rob. I know you've put some together, and I think they're relevant and germane to this whole topic of careers and what's the future of hospitality.
Well, I think the good news is that it's definitely a growth industry, and it's going to increase pretty significantly over the coming years. We just had last week our annual meeting, and we're going to follow up and put some more information out to the community. But we just published what we're calling MCT 2030. It's Monterey County Tourism 2030 that looks out to the end of the decade, and it considers a number of challenges and opportunities. Starting with the fact that we're going to have 1,000 new hotel rooms in the county over the next half decade. And that's a big opportunity for us, but it also presents some challenges that we need to deal with. And the intent of putting the report out is to look out there and decide for ourselves, not just see Monterey, but our community. How do we want our future to come at us? If we can see what's coming, we have an opportunity to shape what's coming. And we believe very strongly, and I know MCHA does too, that we have to have a managed growth strategy in terms of how we approach the future to make it work for all of us. And the resident sentiment study that is included in this shows that the good news, and keep your seats, over 70% of the residents of Monterey County have a positive, favorable understanding of the importance of tourism. And that compares favorably to other places. There's a comparable study for the state. Our residents have a higher, I think, get it and appreciation factor than most residents in the state of California. So that's great. They also understand the need to promote tourism. So they get it, right? But they do need more and better education and how it specifically benefits them. They get it overall, but we have a job to do to make sure that residents are educated. And therefore, the appreciation and the contribution, going back to the experience, your original question, will be enhanced. On the visitor profile study, a couple of quick tidbits. About 70% of our visitors are from the state of California. 23% are from somewhere outside the state of California domestically, and 7% are international. Now, I'll tell you something about that. Before COVID, we had over 13% of our visitors were international. And that presents a pretty big challenge, but a pretty big opportunity for us, because a drive market visitor, what they spend is one thing. If someone flies in, they tend to spend 2 to 3 times more than a drive-in visitor. International visitors tend to stay longer, do more, and spend 4 to 5 times what a drive market. So it's very valuable, but it's a very competitive market. I mean, we compete with Napa and Sonoma and Santa Barbara and other places. People ask me all the time, Nick, well, why do we even have to advertise it? We're Monterey, we're beautiful. Well, we know that. But do everybody that we want to get here from the Midwest and the East Coast and international markets get that? So it's the information we put out. I'm going to ask Alyssa, who's on here, to drop a link to all our reports, the stuff that we just put out. But it's an exciting time to be in hospitality and tourism. I'm excited about these job fairs and what MCHA is doing to get the people plugged into these careers. They're not just jobs, they can be careers. And I've been in the business myself for a long time. It's very exciting.
Excellent. Thank you for those insights, Rob. And we sure appreciate what C Monterey does to promote our region. It's a critical aspect of our economy. And thank you so much for you and your staff's time. Hang on for a while, and
Sure.
we might have some questions from the media or from the class. So I'm going to shift over to Kristen Horton. Kristen is the Executive Director of the Monterey County Hospitality Association. And for those that you may not know, the Monterey County Hospitality Association is an industry representative group. They are an association that represents the industry on a number of different areas, including government affairs and many other things. So Kristen, welcome to the briefing today, and kind of talk about, you know, what you're seeing from your side of it, and what your members are seeing and what they're looking for, perhaps more importantly, in the workforce of the future.
Thank you, Nick, and hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. Yeah, speaking, you know, a little bit more from the hospitality in general and hotels, restaurants, et cetera, perspective. We're currently at about just over 27,000 for jobs in the industry, up 6.2%. Thank you, Rob. Rob keeps me well informed with my data through C Monterey. So we're heading in the right direction as far as our workforce goes and filling those open jobs that happened a few years back. Some of the trends that we're seeing from a workforce standpoint, retention is actually really great right now, and turnover is down, which that had, you know, been a little bit of an issue a few years back. So really happy to see that on both of those fronts. Right now, with the job fairs that are happening this week, you know, we're heading into a slower time for the industry. So the idea is, especially, and Paige can talk about it a little bit more with our career fair tomorrow that we're partnering with Cal State Monterey Bay on, is really planting the seeds, very similar to what Laura was saying as well, and getting people interested in the industry for those future job openings that are going to, you know, have more opportunities come winter and spring going into the busy season of the summer. We have also seen a lot of the properties and businesses have seen an increased interest in applicants. So we're seeing a lot of applicants come for those open positions, which is also a real positive moving forward, especially as Rob was noting, if we're looking at some increase in rooms down the road and a need to increase that workforce, that's real positive as well. As far as what MCHA is doing to work with developing the workforce and growth in the industry, we have the career fair that we're doing now. Then we also shift into having another career fair in the spring, and would love to work with Monterey County Works to do something in the winter when there is a real big need for the industry. We are also launching our first job board on the MCHA website that will be 100% hospitality-driven jobs. And that we're hoping to launch within the next couple of weeks, and we'll have information at the career fair tomorrow for students and others to have. and include other opportunities such as internships and volunteer work for people that want to kind of boost up their resume as well. I think that is it. We also work very closely, obviously, with Cal State Monterey Bay, the culinary program at MPC, and the CTE programs at the local high schools. I think there's just a lot of opportunity to get the word out there for the industry as well. And I will let Paige talk a little bit more on, or Dr. Viren, since all of the students are here, on our partnership with the career fair tomorrow.
Thank you, Kristen, and welcome, Dr. Viren. Yes, we'll be formal now that we have to set a good example for the students. And I want to send a special welcome to our students from CSUMB for attending this briefing today. So thank you. So Paige, give us some insights as to what CSUMB is doing to prepare the students for the future in this industry. I mean, obviously it's a growing industry, and CSUMB has a unique niche in the educational program.
Definitely. Thank you. And our program is actually sustainable hospitality and tourism management. So to Rob's point about creating a tourism industry that's sensitive to the residents, provides an excellent experience to the travelers, as well as providing opportunities for business owners to be successful is pretty important. And at the start of the semester, this is an intro to tourism, hospitality and tourism class. The future is bright. We had 16 students last semester, and this semester we have 50 students enrolled in the class. So interest is growing in this area. I think that we focus on kind of this red thread of sustainability, where we want to make sure that whatever we do acknowledges that it is, providing jobs, the economic leg of the stool. It also is sensitive to the environment. If we think about, our Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary, what kind of things are we doing to make sure that we protect our human-made and natural resources? And then obviously the culture of the place. And that's where I see there being an intersection between tourism and agriculture, because that's such a big part of the history here. So I was excited that the students, we talked about the stakeholder groups, and we have government here, we have business here, we have residents here. The only thing missing is tourists, but our students are off doing education on location, visiting different sites in the county. So we have, I guess you all are our tourists here. But it's exciting to know that the industry is growing in this class. Our goal is to really educate and inspire students about the various career opportunities that are available. And it isn't just, cleaning rooms or being at the front desk, that you can be in management. We look at various sectors. Today, after this meeting, we have the founder of Spa Adeline as a guest speaker, and the general manager, who is a graduate of our program, talking about the health and wellness industry. So that's another area within hospitality that we have lots of representatives here in our county, and lots of opportunities for developing that even in outlying areas. So the future is bright in terms of the number of students that are interested. Our career fair tomorrow, as Kristen mentioned, is really about planting seeds and inspiring students about what's out there. So we have everything from WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Of course, we have Bernardus Lodge and Spa. We have, run the gamut of different things, because it all fits in, including conference services. If you think about Encore or Tricord services, they're supporting the meetings and conventions that come to Monterey County. So that's attracting those international visitors who want to bring their guests or their participants to a unique destination. And we're really, I think, poised to be growing even more here. So it's definitely an exciting time. So,
and I like the approach of looking at the relationship between agriculture and tourism and hospitality and sustainable hospitality. I think one of the things that a lot of folks don't realize is that, you take the wine industry as an example, which is a very big industry in Monterey County, and it's part of agriculture, and yet it's also part of hospitality. And the wine industry is, implementing many different sustainability type measures in order to not only attract customers, but also to differentiate themselves. So there's that really nice connection. And of course, we can't forget about the great restaurants here that are serving the Salinas Valley's best produce in the world, right? So there's a real tie-in that can be made there.
Definitely. And we have Scheid Winery, who's been a longtime partner with our program, and Folktale Wineries coming, because the other thing is they hold a lot of events and meetings in their spaces. So it's not just about the wine and the ag, it's also about the experiences that they facilitate. So there's potential for careers not only in the wine piece of it, but also in the events and meeting spot.
Exactly. And to tie in a little bit with what both Rob and Kristen said, when it comes to visitor experience, and let's face it, and you're right that our students are tourists just like we're tourists. We can be tourists in our own county, right? But people want an experience nowadays more than just going someplace. They want to experience something. How does CSUMB prepare, the students for that mindset and shifting the gears of what the tourist today is looking for when they're traveling?
Yeah, definitely as part of the classes. So we introduced this fall an intro to event planning and management course. It's actually open to all majors because I think that's a skill set that no matter your job, you're organizing and planning things. So having that skill set is pretty important. In this class, we obviously talk about how do we bring all of these services together? How does the aquarium fit in with the various hotels? How does Monterey, market the various services and hotels and restaurants that we have here? So I think we look at this entire ecosystem and we find those connections, and students, they're kind of the future, the next generation of leaders. And I think their ideas for how can we curate experiences that set us apart, because we can't export something that's unique to this area. I mean, the agricultural piece, there's nowhere else like that. So it's this concept of creating something that kind of enhances and recognizes some of the culturally important facets. So, I think about South County and some of these outlying areas. We have students here from those areas that could quite possibly be inspired to start a business. I think about Pinnacles National Park. The least visited national park is such an amazing asset. So why aren't we creating more things available that would attract more people to go there? So our students could be the ones that are starting those businesses or finding ways to, kind of address some of those shortcomings. So it's nice to see the efforts with waters and street lights and all the things that will make a difference in bringing visitors, because a nice place to live is a nice place to visit, right? So we want to make sure that we're doing those things to help the community so that they can be competitive and not to take visitors away from any one thing. We want them going here, not there. It's getting them to stay longer, as Rob has, emphasized. So if I know that I'm going to go in Pinnacles, and then I'm also going to go into South County, and I'm also going to be in Monterey, I'm going to stay in the county longer, and that's more tax dollars, more, and more satisfied visitors, I think, because we're offering unique experiences.
Exactly. Rob, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to add on to the area you're delving into with Dr. Viren. I really think it's important to note, and Paige started to note this or go there. And I think Supervisor Lopez got into it, and that's why I say everything's connected. What experience people are looking for, residents of our county and travelers coming to our county want the same thing. Residents want people to be spread out, right? It's not just the peninsula. They want people to be more spread out, so it's not all bunched up. Travelers are looking for off the beaten path experiences, and they're looking to places like South County, which we promote quite heavily, so people know where they can go. Now, there's limitations there, and as we look out over the next few years, there are transportation challenges, there's infrastructure challenges, but there's such opportunity. I was just over Labor Day weekend in King City at this new place called Rising Phoenix Tap Room. I was just blown away. It was just amazing. And that's what our people are looking for, right? Just what I was looking for, like off the beaten path, you can find these amazing experiences, but we've got to have sort of a concerted effort to develop that. And from what we call a managed growth strategy, how are we going to develop that? And we lose a lot of business to Paso Robles because we don't have enough hotel product in South County, but that's on the agenda for Soledad, for King City and other places. So, I think, again, this is a great forum. If all the dots are connected, if everything's connected, this is the place for us to have this type of conversation. So again, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe we just started something that should be focused on entirely on its own. So which is something that we're interested in doing at the county to have that kind of a conversation. I want to see if anybody in the media, and by the way, Laura Kershner has also posted some stuff in the chat. So anybody, friends in the media that are here, you can get those details off the chat. Of course, this program will be rebroadcast on YouTube, and his Facebook Live will be on Facebook again later. But I want to see if anybody has any questions right now. And I'm not seeing any pop up for the moment. So I do want to thank everybody for being here, especially this last minute we put together, Dr. Viren and I, with your class. That was awesome. And I hope the students got something out of it as well. This is an important thing that we do here at the county to help our residents and our community and stakeholders be informed about what we're doing and the hard work that everybody's doing in the county of Monterey. So for our briefing this Wednesday, thank you all very much for attending, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here next Wednesday, October 2nd at 12 noon. Have a great day.